happy Tuesday, everyone. It is a First Alert Weather Day Tuesday, which Justin will get to in a little bit. But before all the storms come, Nicole's going to talk about the fun.
That's right. Studio 10 is always full of fun and education and learning a little bit about everything. We have a great show for you today. I apologize for having a mint in my mouth. It kind of
just ate lunch. I know. I got mint gum. You got your mint. We got to make sure we're...
It feels silly to talk with a mint in your mouth after like doing this job for so long. Anywho, we have a great show for you today, but we're talking about educating. We love our teachers, and we've definitely want to show them appreciation outside of Teacher Appreciation Week and highlighting all the great things that they're doing. There's a local teacher that is up for a competition to be the best teacher in the nation. So we are hearing from her and her journey and how you can support her. Claudia has that story. And then we are also talking about summer reading programs. So from education and schools, but what happens in the summertime? There are so many great summer reading programs, especially over at East Lansing Public Library. Oh, yeah. They have some for preschoolers, they have some for kids, and then they have some for teens too. And I'll be honest, I'm a big summer reading gal. And
where's your favorite places around mid-Michigan to read?
Well, the beach for sure. Well, mid-Michigan, well, Lake Lansing, Sleepy Hollow State Park. Those are some great ones. But like I meant when I was younger, I would look forward to the summer reading program. And because if you read a certain amount or certain kinds of books, you would get cool gifts or t-shirts or whatever. And just it was great to be a part of the community and being supported by the library. So that's something that you can do and your kids can do this summer. So we'll be talking a little bit about that.
I remember me and my brothers did that growing up. And yeah, there would be like one treasure chest for like the candy and the other one for like the little fun trinket toys.
Yes.
But you got to read too, which is very important.
Yes. So it's really, really cool. And so we'll be talking about that. Plus, you know, as we get into the warmer months, you know, more and more people are having those outdoor events, those bigger events, especially like weddings, graduation parties. And sometimes I think we take it, I don't say take advantage. Well, maybe like we don't realize how lucky we are to be able to walk everywhere and being in, I don't want to say shape. Well, you're maybe in shape, but like, you know what I mean? Like our mobility, we're very thankful that we can get around. Whereas, you know, sometimes as you get older or something happens, you don't have that blessing. And so you don't realize how much a golf cart can add to that. So if you want grandma and grandpa to be at your graduation party, but it's, you know, in the middle of a field, how do you get there? They're through golf carts. And there's a great business called Chief Carts that's actually right down the road over in South Lansing, like Holt area. And they've been around for 27 years, and you can rent golf carts, or if you have a golf cart and it stops working, you can go there and have these conversations because they understand the importance of it. And of course too, you know, if you have a golf cart and you like using it at a golf course or just like to have it around, you like to deck it out, they have the latest and greatest of those too, and like adding in speakers and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, what is it? This is like going beyond a golf cart at this point.
Yeah. So it's really cool. So definitely stay tuned for that. Plus, with May being Foster Care Awareness Month, we have Cakes for a Cause, which is a newer nonprofit that, well, they're working on being a nonprofit, but a newer group that is put together in Jackson where they make sure that they want to make sure every kid has a celebration, because every kid deserves a celebration. So even if they're in the foster care system and maybe they just were added to a family last minute and their birthday's the next day, how are they able to set that up? So they kind of make a cake, grab gifts that are good for their, like what they like. Yeah. So
everyone deserves a birthday.
Yes, they do. And this isn't just for kids too. It's also for young adults. So even if you're out of, you know, 18 and you're out of the system, and you might not, but you don't know how to celebrate families or your birthday and all that kind of stuff. So they are there to help. So we're gonna break that down, of course, on Studio 10.
Great. And I know we've done stories before too, talking about foster care, foster youth, and more importantly, the foster teens who have a harder time finding that forever home. So what a great program to celebrate them and just give those great things.
Absolutely.
Yes.
3 o'clock.
All right.
Be there.
We will see you then, Nicole. Thank you for sharing. And here's where you can stay up to date with Studio 10, of course. WILX Studio 10 for all of their social media handles. And then if you want to advertise with them or if they have any giveaways, you can head to studio10@wilx.com, which is their email. So make sure to go check that out. We have Justin Bradford joining us here real soon to talk about this first alert weather day that is coming overnight into Wednesday, so happening around midnight. And I do see a quick hi from Chris Schultz from East Lansing. Hello, Chris. Thank you for joining us. And I will say, Justin, it's like, I know we've been talking about the humidity, but I feel like it's very, is it not humid in here?
It is in here, but you know, definitely is. It is outside too, for sure. We've had that a couple days now, and you know, today had Gravity Smokehouse bring in some brisket. Got to enjoy some of that. They sponsor our weather patio here at News 10, and so really feeling that southern heat today. Got the brisket, got the warm, nice, hot, humid outside, and you know what? Later tonight we're gonna have a couple storms rumbling in. What we're looking at is a first alert weather day for tonight after midnight mainly into Wednesday. So kind of weird, but to avoid confusing folks, we wanted to give you that first alert today because the storms will occur late tonight before the sun comes up tomorrow. And so no first alert weather day tomorrow, the weather will be fine, but tonight is what we're kind of keeping our eyes on, and those storms we're hoping are going to be dying out as they cross Lake Michigan, but it's a big complex that is bringing some for certain severe weather out west of here. So that's what we wanted to bring to folks' attention out there today. And so this evening, you're probably good. Any sort of plans out there, whether you got golf leagues, softball games, anything that's going on outdoors, you should be good to go. It's going to be well after dark and likely after midnight tonight that those storms come in.
Hey, softball for sure. Let's hope we do well tonight.
We're hoping to keep improving. That's kind of the key here. But yeah, so I mean, it's already seeing some fair weather clouds out there. We had a lot of sunshine early, but they're popping up in certain areas. And Jackson's one of the areas that we can see those outside looking off to the west right now. And so that's on our sky cam out here.
Yes, before we, I was going to say real quick, all good, all good.
Yes.
I was going to say, I know that the storm is supposed to be done tomorrow, but is there anything people should do tonight to prepare for the storm?
Yeah.
Is there going to be any like severe weather impacts?
Yeah, I think just any loose items that could be blown around, maybe just either make sure those are down or bring them inside. I think that's a good way. Like if you have any potted plants hanging, you don't want any wind gusts overnight knocking them down and you find them in the morning. Especially since those plants are probably blooming so well. We've had some pretty good weather, and you don't want that to go to waste. And so I'd say definitely take care of those. That'd be a good idea.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. All right, I'm going to send it outside now. Thank you.
Yeah, just peeking at the clouds, you notice these are normally what we look at as a fair weather cumulus variety, but they're actually continuing to swell up and grow. And so it is possible, as we get into this afternoon, a very small chance of an isolated pop-up shower or storm. This would largely be expected to be non-severe if it does pop up this afternoon. Really, it's going to be into this evening that we're going to keep our eyes out because that's when we could have the potential for some stronger storms. Here's the 83-degree temperatures we have for now, and these numbers are still climbing. It's only 212, and they should get up at around the middle, maybe a few upper 80s later this afternoon. We take a look at that first alert weather day storm threat, and again, this is one of those weird things where, yes, it's a first alert weather day, but really it is for tonight, and really it's into, technically on the calendar, Wednesday as we'll have it because it'll be after midnight and certainly after dark. So gusty winds are going to be the primary threat with any strong storms, but hail and an isolated tornado can't be ruled out. The thing here is that that's going to be more for West Michigan with hail and tornado threats than it is here. We're likely going to be seeing these storms kind of crumble, so to speak, as they make their way towards us, which is good. The timing actually is the best case for us because losing that peak daytime heating to feed in energy from the top of the storm and just having them naturally as they run over land without any source of rejuvenation to keep them going is going to allow them to kind of begin to fall apart. So we think. Right now, temperatures out there right now are just shy of 80 in Lansing. Everywhere else, they are into the 80s except north. And once again, we are expecting those highs to go mid to upper 80s today. Satellite and radar again. Mix of sunshine and clouds. You got to back out to see that system. And again, it's throwing down those storms out west. Now, what's coming to us is going to be along that little line that you see just near the nose, we'll call it, of Iowa out there, the center and eastern part of the state. That's the area of storms moving our way. You can see a lot of it fading off to the north, but we will continue to see development this afternoon along that line. Pretty significant severe weather threat down in that area of the country. So I'll actually try to head over that way here. You can see down in near the Omaha area in Nebraska, they are really having some storms blossom in that direction. And similarly, we will see that happen as we head throughout this afternoon out towards the west. So the Storm Prediction Center does have us still in a slight risk with its latest update. We'll have another one coming out before the evening, so be sure to check back in frequently for updates because, again, this forecast is going to change and evolve. Right now, most of us in the slight, a few in the marginal south and east. West Michigan has the enhanced risk which is a 3 out of 5. That's where they expect the storms when they come ashore to still have a little bit of luster to them, but the further they move inland, the more they will be falling apart. And so that actually bodes pretty well for us. Now, backing out here, you can see where the real storm threat is today. And that's going to be for folks in this red shaded area out towards Iowa and those areas where we saw those storms blossoming. They have a moderate risk, and that's the second highest risk category we get for severe weather. And so pretty intense opportunity for storms that direction, and even in the orange there for the enhanced risk, they're going to be keeping their eyes out too. A slight risk is certainly not one to go unnoticed. We've had even marginal risks in the dark green here for the rest of the state where we have seen tornado warnings recently that were produced. Right now, I think it's going to be the main threats we watch are going to be for those late afternoon or in the overnight time frame, not the late afternoon. So here's our hour-by-hour look. And once again, you'll see here some clouds flare up. I think it's going to be fairly tough to throw down a shower or storm, but if it happens, it'll be really quick and short-lived. Those mid-80s to upper 80s temps you see here on another hot, humid day across our state. Even heading to midnight here, you see we're still dry. Most of us in the mid-70s to even as close as 79, almost 80 degrees in Lansing at midnight. That's incredibly warm for the time of year. And so golf ball, softball, those will all be flying tonight for anybody who's out there. It'd be easy to travel through this very warm air. You see, once again, storms out towards the lakeshore at midnight, towards Grand Haven, Muskegon, South Haven, those towns off along the Lake Michigan shore. The model really wants to kill this off quickly as it comes in. I think it'll probably hold a little more than what the model shows, but you see, even by 3 a.m., we've still got mid-70s temperatures, and those showers, again, even if they're light, are probably going to have some gusty winds as that disturbance moves through. And so we'll have a few gusts that are associated with the wind, and then we get into tomorrow morning fairly quiet. And you notice here that we're still close to 70 tomorrow near sunrise. Looks like other than maybe a stray sprinkle, we're going to be drying out. In the daytime, I think we go mid-70s for highs in most places tomorrow, maybe upper 70s south. But it's a sunny day, and we do recover very nicely, and that's something we'll see as well on Thursday. So we see that here in the 10-day forecast. So again, today, Tuesday, technically first alert weather day, I've got just the 20% chance, and honestly, it's less than that for the storm this afternoon. We do want to emphasize that it is tonight after midnight when we would see the potential severe storm threat. Hopefully, we don't see it at all, and that model is correct and the storms fall apart. But of course, we want you to have that first alert so that we can continue to bring you coverage. Now, we're in the 70s with sun Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, we're back in the 80s. Small shower storm chance late in the day, and then we dot the area this weekend with a few showers on either early Saturday or early Monday for Memorial Day. But the holiday weekend itself doesn't look too bad. No, it's not as warm as this last one was for the unofficial start to summer, but hey, mid to upper 70s, lows in the 50s, and just a couple showers, not too bad. And it's not going to wash us out this weekend. Next week, we keep near normal in the 70s and lows in the low 50s. Those are all average for the time of year. So the forecast, honestly, looks really, really good for us, especially if we can avoid any of those storms tonight. But of course, we do want you to have that first alert because you never know if the storms do somehow manage to survive the crossing of the lake and moving inland. We want you to be prepared because if you have a noisy wake up overnight, we don't want you to be too concerned or too worried. We want to be able to bring you that first alert. And a good thing you can do is have notifications set on your phone, especially with the First Alert Weather app, because that's probably going to be your best way overnight to get those alerts, especially if you're fast asleep. If they do come in and we do have things like lightning in your area, or if we do have severe thunderstorm warnings issued or anything like that, you can get all that information with push notifications on this First Alert Weather app. You can customize it, you can set it so that you hear those if they go off in the night so that you know what you need to do. And that's something that, again, is a service that we work very hard on to provide. And if there are any storms that are coming through, then you'll get those notifications. If not, if there aren't any storms, then you won't have anything to worry about. But at least to have that notification system is good to do, and it's absolutely free in Google Play and the App Store.
I may have used it this morning, yesterday. I may use it all the time, especially when we have these storms to see when they're coming.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But thank you, Justin.
Everyone's in the know. If you need to know more, we're going to have a lot coming up during Studio 10 and then also during First at 4. So we hope to see you there.
That is true. And there's not just these showers in the forecast, but any baby showers potentially.
Yeah, we talked about it a bit yesterday. We are still very much, my wife and I, on baby watch. Have an appointment later today, and we're going to see how things are going. Mm-hmm. Things are good. They're good, just so everybody at home knows. But could be literally any day now. Could be today. Who knows? We will see. We'll see how it all pans out, but we'll keep you in the loop. when everything's happening. But again, we appreciate community support with everything. We're both very excited to welcome our son, first child to the world. Anytime. Could be today, could be in 2 weeks, could be whenever, but it's going to be very soon here.
Well, we'll check on your Facebook page for those updates.
Yeah.
And then otherwise, check in for the First Alert weather app for your First Alert forecast updates. But yeah, we'll see you coming up on Studio 10, Justin.
Yes, that'll be good. And then I'm racing off to that appointment, so you'll have Andy today. If you're loyal watchers of First at 4, he'll be on the show there. And then, of course, during the 90 minutes of news, Andy will have you covered throughout the evening. Once again, we're not expecting any storms to cause any ruckus this evening. It'll really be after midnight tonight, but we're going to have constant updates for the next several hours, and so the forecast could look different at 11 p.m. tonight when you watch versus right now, so be sure to keep checking back in for updates.
All right, Wendy says thank you for the update, Justin Bradford.
Wendy, thank you for watching. We appreciate it very much.
And BW, hello to you. Hope you're having a great day as well. But yes, we will see you later, and then if you guys come out to the softball game, you could see a few of us out there later tonight.
Geyer Park, it'll be a fun time. Yep.
I will see you then.
All right, sounds good.
Cool. We're going to share what's coming up during First at 4 and our 90 minutes of news today before we get Aaron Bowling up here. And so starting with Mid-Michigan Matters. Well, in lieu of Mid-Michigan Matters, we are talking about healthcare struggles. So in this week's Listening to America during First at 4 today, instead of Mid-Michigan Matters, we're talking about healthcare struggles. So what's going down in the hospitals, especially when it comes to available beds in the emergency rooms. And also you're talking about the nursing shortages. So a lot of different aspects and factors impacting healthcare right now. We're going to be talking about that during this week's Listening to America. Coming up, News 10 at 5, the EPA is warning of cyber attacks on water treatment plants. Our very own News 10 Riley Connell is speaking with a cybersecurity expert and BWL on what is being done to protect these sites. And I'm going to quickly skip what is coming up News 10 at 5:30 because Aaron will be discussing that in just a second.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. But lastly, excuse me, my voice. Coming up News 10 at 6, Lansing City Council unanimously passed Mayor Andy Schor's budget proposal for the 2025 fiscal year. And so several agencies are receiving funds, and one of the highlights from the budget is money towards gun violence prevention. So News 10's Deanna Giles will be speaking with Mayor Andy Schor on what the funds will go towards and what gun violence prevention advocates say about it. And she'll have that story coming up News 10 at 6. Until then, I do want to share what Aaron Bowling has coming up.
Yes.
Of course, News 10 at 5:30.
Hello. Happy Tuesday. How's it going?
Let me take this down real quick so we can actually see you, Aaron.
Where are we? Right here.
And we're both in the pink. Look at that.
Whoop, whoop. We're so close. It's almost like on Wednesdays we were pink, you know, Mean Girls, but we're Tuesdays, so
it's
a little bit off.
Weather day.
Right. It's that alarming kind of color. That's what we went for.
That's what we're doing.
Anyways. But today, I'm actually kind of like a 2 for 1 kind of deal today. So I'm going to be News 10 at 5:30, but I'm also going to be a News 10 at 6 o'clock. So 5:30, we are talking about student athletes and heart health. So this week here at News 10, we are making an impact. We're raising funds for Champions of the Heart. They are a local nonprofit that you might recognize from last year's Make an Impact or the story our very own Ann Emmerich did on Mike Garland, the former MSU basketball coach who just shortly after retiring suffered cardiac arrest while driving and was saved by passerbyers.
Two good Samaritans.
Yeah, good Samaritans, that's what I was looking for. 2 people who just happened to be, it's like a right place, right time type of situation.
He was dead for 18 minutes.
Yes. Yeah. In the state of Michigan, if you have or go into cardiac arrest outside of the hospital, there's about a 6% chance you're going to survive. So if you have cardiac arrest outside of the state or outside of the hospital in the state of Michigan, about a 94% chance that will take your life. I know, so it's pretty alarming statistic, but part of Mike Garland and his experience that inspired him to start Foundations of the Heart. They provide free AEDs, free AED training, free CPR training, all of that good stuff throughout mid-Michigan. And so, Thursday, we'll be having our telethon, but today, just taking a look at, that topic of cardiac arrest and being prepared and trained for CPR, AED use, we took a look at student athletes at the high school level. Now, if you go to the college level, again, you might remember from our story last year, for our Make an Impact last year, we did a story about how at the college level, there are these tests that can be done to gauge cardiac arrest risk. Now, these tests are super, super expensive. And even for an institution like MSU, even they, with all the funding they have, they said, so expensive. We don't typically want to do that even unless they really think it's needed.
And expensive for a life-saving device. That is the whole added
Well, that's for the
aspect onto
test.
it.
We're talking about the
Oh,
tests right now.
yes.
The AEDs
Yes.
are very expensive as
Those are
well.
expensive.
But the tests to gauge your risk for cardiac arrest can be very expensive, especially
resources.
Right. So at the high school level, they don't really do as much testing. With your primary care doctor, the health history portion of the kid's yearly physical is that really important aspect to make sure that your student athlete is heart healthy. And they said, you know, if your primary care doctor thinks it's necessary, they may send you for further testing, but talk to a I talked to a pediatric cardiologist at the University of Michigan. She actually treats patients here in mid-Michigan. She has some children. She said she can run all of the tests in the world and they could come back normal and that person could still suffer cardiac arrest.
Wild.
Yeah, so even if your tests come back clear, it's not necessarily going to predict whether or not, mean you're in the clear. It's a great way to put it. So the way that the MHSAA and, you know, Michigan schools and Michigan's legislature, the way that they are setting it up to try and prevent deaths from cardiac arrest is by that preventative measures, you know, being prepared. If somebody goes into cardiac arrest, there are people around who know how to do CPR, how to use an AED, that sort of thing. So it's kind of a, you know, being prepared is the best way to prevent deaths from cardiac arrest, according to the experts. So we're just taking a little bit of a deeper look at, you know, what Michigan's health experts, athletics experts have to say about, you know, preparing for cardiac arrest, maybe prevention, screening, that sort of thing. Because the doctor I spoke with at U of M, the pediatric cardiologist, she said every time there's one of those events, like we got DeMar Hamlin or the Potterville basketball player that I did a story on. He's a student athlete, high school age.
They're young, they're active.
Yeah, but they still suffer cardiac arrest, and every time something like that happens, she says they get a flood of parents being like, how do I test my child? How do I know that they're gonna be okay? How do I know this isn't gonna happen to them? It's not really a question that can always be answered. So being prepared for cardiac arrest is a means for preventing death. And then, switching gears, like I said, I got a 2-for-1 deal for you guys today.
So real quick, we'll just break that up for a second.
Let's break it up. Let's break it up. I know it's a mouthful.
Very important event. Again, our telethon is this Thursday to help get those resources to people around the area. But like Aaron was saying, that's coming up News 10 at 5:30 today.
Yes.
But other than that, you are a busy person today, Aaron.
So 5:30, we got student athlete heart health at the high school level. Student athlete heart health at the high school level. And then 6 o'clock, totally different story. We are in the southwest side of Lansing, where the Ingham County Land Bank has begun demolition on a former elementary school over there. I am blanking on the name of this school right now, so I'm going to pull my phone out really quickly because I don't want to misspeak. That would be, you know, it's like part of my job is to not misspeak. The Pleasant Grove Elementary School, southwest side of Lansing. It's a corner of Pleasant Grove and Holmes. It's actually where Malcolm X attended kindergarten, so it's got that historical aspect there as well. Looking at some video on your screen right now of that demolition. I was out there this morning speaking with Ingham County officials, speaking with the Ingham County Land Bank about, you know, the timeline for this project, what they're hoping to bring to the southwest side of Lansing. And it's actually really interesting. I didn't really understand maybe the depth of this project until I got out there and started talking with them. They said right now Ingham County has committed to building a health clinic on site. They told me that the Ingham County Health Department actually says this area is a healthcare desert. So they're working to address that.
You know what, you are so right about that now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so they want to build a county health clinic on this site, but they also, on top of that, want to have a credit union. They said there's some credit unions with interest here locally. They also want to include some housing in there, and then they also want to do some local businesses. So it's going to be like a mixed use site. The Ingham County Land Bank hopes to have development proposals out by the end of June. But it's a really, really big piece of property, and it's actually got a park backed up right behind it. So it's got a lot of, you know, green area, natural space and behind it there. But you know, this building has been abandoned, sitting vacant for almost 10 years. They were telling me 8 to 10 years earlier today, and the windows were broken. There's graffiti all over the inside. And it's a huge property, just taking up this corner, you know, in Southwest Lansing. And now they're trying to, you know, take out the old, but implement something new with multiple uses. And, you know, part of that aspect is actually creating a memorial on the new site for Malcolm X and kind of preserving that history, our local history of, that iconic American civil rights figure who, went to elementary school here in Lansing, which I'm, a little bit of a history buff. I just think that's the coolest. But yeah, we'll be talking a little bit more about this building or this site, what's going to be coming to it, and what people can expect as far as the timeline goes on News 10 at 6.
All right, sounds good. And yeah, just keep taking a look at all of that video. Like Aaron was mentioning, a lot of great things going into there. And just such a great use of that space, which is awesome.
Yeah, and they said that the South Side, again, I don't want to get this wrong, the South Side Community Coalition and the Southwest Action Group and Malcolm X's family were all involved with these plans. And they thought, just with the amount of damage the building had received from being abandoned for about 10 years, they're like, you know what, it's not going to be maybe the best use of this building to preserve it. I think it would be a better way to memorialize it, to just wipe it out, save some of the building materials, create that memorial, and start brand new again. Address some of those bigger needs in the southwest portion of Lansing.
Did they say when the goal to have this completed would be, or is it just
No.
plans right now? The great
Yes.
plans so far. it
Yes.
sounds
So
like.
right now it's just plans. Well, also demolition, because
Yes,
the demolition is
that's
going
what-
to take a
yeah.
little bit. But they, like I said, they had the Ingham County had already committed to building a health clinic there. They got some interest from local businesses, credit unions, that sort of thing. But not so much of a timeline. Like I said, the end of June, they want to have, what is the word? By the end of June, they want to have like development proposals submitted, or they want to start
Like a
accepting.
blueprint.
By end of June, they want to start accepting development proposals. So they're going to start, they're going to open it up for local businesses to come in and be like, hey, I want to have my storefront here.
Oh, that's sweet.
So they're going to start doing that at the end of June, which kind of gives you a little bit better of an idea of when maybe they'll start construction on some of those buildings.
And
but
great community involvement to
Yeah.
get everyone who wants to have a storefront there, who's interested in the space,
Right,
and
right.
at least have the knowledge that that space will be there.
Yes, it's coming. And if you've got a local business that maybe you want to see go up in the south side of Lansing, this brand new multi-use community space, that window of opportunity will be coming up here soon. So no, construction starting up like maybe in the immediate, super near future, but it's coming down the pipeline definitely.
All right, well, sounds good. Okay, so that's News 10 at 6.
Yes, 6 o'clock.
Your other stories, News 10 at 5:30.
Yes, 5:30. Student
right.
athlete heart health 5:30. A new multi-use building. Take an old, turn it into new in Southwest Lansing. 6 o'clock.
All right, sounds good. Thank you,
Yeah,
Erin.
thank
I
you
know
for
that was a
having
lot
me.
of great information, so make sure to
Mouthful.
tune in. That was a mouthful, but you
Sorry,
did it
guys.
all.
Oh, yes.
No, that's what we do here. You let it all out, because during the shows, you only have like a minute or so to say everything.
Yes. I always
Yeah.
say that's the hardest part of our job, is figuring out what to leave out. Because when I'm out there doing these interviews, I'm out there for like an hour or more, usually like 2 to 3 hours, just doing my interviews, getting my video, and I get all this information, and it's 2 to 3 hours put into like a minute and a half. So it is very fun getting to come over here and share all the little details
Yeah.
that don't get to make it into our stories, unfortunately. But yeah.
All right, we'll see you coming up during our 90.
Sounds
Thank you, Erin.
good.
We're gonna recap one more time what is going over, or
Awesome.
what is coming up in our 90 minutes of news. So that is where you can see that. Oh, I see that BW was mentioning Malcolm X's birthday. Was it really the 19th?
That's cool.
Let me do
I mean, that would have been what, 2 days? My little sister's birthday is actually the 19th. Maybe they share the
Nice.
same. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
It was.
Thank
That's so
you,
cool.
BW. Very cool information. Okay.
Looks like he would have been 99 years old today, or 2 days ago.
Oh, wow.
1925.
Look at that. That is really cool. Okay, awesome. Good little tidbit right there. BW's saying the cats are saying hi. Jesse is saying hi, everyone. All right, we love the engagement. Thank you, everyone, for saying something in the chat. Oh, sorry, Isley, she's stepping up here, but I kicked the box into her on accident. She is coming up real soon to share what she is coming up during our 90 minutes of news. But yes, again, this is what we have coming up. So No Min Michigan Matters today. We will have Listening to America talking about healthcare struggles. News 10 at 5 talking about the cyber attacks on the water treatment plants, and looking into the importance of staying healthy, or excuse me, that was the wrong one. What is being done to protect the sites? The News 10 at 5:30, staying healthy for the student athletes on heart health, like Aaron Bowling was talking about, and really focusing on the Champions of the Heart nonprofit foundation that we are holding a telethon on this Thursday to help raise money for both CPR training and AED devices, and those testing kits that Aaron was saying cost money, right? A lot of things cost money. We want to get those resources to people to make sure they are staying healthy and safe and lives are being saved. And then News 10 at 6, highlighting I just mixed those words together. Mayor Andy Shore, wow. His 2025 fiscal budget for the city of Lansing. Sometimes I talk too fast and then things start happening. But anyways, we have Isley Herschel sharing what you have coming up during our 90 minutes of news.
Yeah, so today I went to the University of Michigan Sparrow Eaton Hospital, and I got to see a little bit about their new paramedic program. They just introduced it in September, and they had one of their first graduates there today, so that was pretty exciting to talk to her and see what she's learned so far from this program. It seems like it's a pretty extensive program, though. It's about 1.5 years in total. It's 2 semesters worth of coursework and then a 3-month internship. But then after that, they get to work as a paramedic, which is pretty exciting.
That is exciting, and I'm sure you heard me say first at 4 we were talking about healthcare struggles. So they plan on having this program help with all of the nurse shortages.
Yes, so there is a nationwide shortage of nurses, paramedics, everything like that. And the hospital at one point ended up only having 3 paramedics on site, which is not a lot, obviously, which I think they have a total of like 17 to 20 spots for paramedics, so they were missing a lot of extra hands. So this past year they decided to create this program to help and to add hopefully some more extra hands.
Oh, that's awesome. And yeah, you're taking a look at the video of Health Eaton, or Health Sparrow Eaton. I forgot. Their
It's a
name
bit
is
of a
so
tongue
long,
twister,
yes.
yeah.
But there you go. Okay, anything else you want to share, Isley? This is a great
Not
video.
that might spoil bits of the story. I'm not sure, but I know that you do have to be an already licensed EMT in order to participate in this program, which the hospital also has a program for that they offer in the fall. I believe it's about a 2-semester program, just a bit shorter than the paramedic program. But once you do that program, then you can become a part of the paramedic program and help them out a bit.
That's awesome.
I also did have the opportunity to talk to an EMT that has been working there for 62 years.
Oh, wow.
And
I feel like that's a story within itself.
it totally is, yeah. But he mentioned if you're someone who likes to help people, then this is the job for you. I mean, it's all it is just helping people and saving lives. So pretty
that's
exciting.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll share more life-saving stories coming up on News 10 at
5:30.
All right, so News 10 at 5:30. Let me just pull that up again one more time. So we're going to have Isley's story again with U of M Health Sparrow Eaton. There you go, mouthful. And then also I'll pull up what's coming up during our 90. Thank you so much, Isley. We'll let you get back to work. But yeah, so talking about healthcare struggles during the 4, and then News 10 at 5:30. Again, talking about student heart health for our Make an Impact campaign this week, and also tying in Isley's story, also into News 10 at 5:30, and talking about that new nursing program and just the program with UM Health Sparrow Eaton. Geez, we'll get it down one of these times. Talking about their program to get more EMTs, all of that. So make sure to tune in then, News 10 at 5:30. But in the meantime, we were talking some health stories, so I do want to show our You're Not Alone mental health series that we have going on all year long here on News 10. And not only all year long, but of course throughout the months, throughout the weeks, we will be sharing mental health resources that you can look forward to, whether you're going through anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, stress, addiction. You know, life comes and goes and ebbs and flows, right? So sometimes you may be going through a minor little rough patch, and sometimes you're dealing with something more than that. So we just want to let you know that there are resources out there for you. And you can go scan that QR code with your cell phone's camera right there, and then pull up a list of resources from across mid-Michigan, whether that's in Clinton County, Eaton, Ionia, Jackson, Shiawassee, Livingston. I may be missing a few counties, but of course, all the counties across mid-Michigan, we have a few resources listed out so that you know that you're not alone. And there are the mental health care professionals letting you know what the signs and symptoms are, the treatment prevention, so that you can get that help, improve your mental well-being. And I will say the first step starts with you wanting to make that first step. And that is okay. Your feelings are valid. You do that when you feel ready. We just want you to know that you are not alone and there are resources out there for you. So May is Mental Health Month. We of course want to make sure that everyone is taking care of their mental health, and not only theirs, but you know, the people around you too. Your support group sometimes needs to be checked up on. So again, You're Not Alone mental health series. We just want you to know that you're not alone. And that's some of our little Tuesday tidbits for you coming up here on News 10 throughout the rest of the day. We have Studio 10 getting started in just over 20 minutes here, which this was a little bit of a longer segment. So thank you for everyone who joined. I know that we have a lot of people in the chat right now, which is awesome, asking questions and saying hello. So hello back to everybody. And then I'm going to wrap this up because I'm being told to wrap this up. I've been talking for too long. So thank you so much for joining one more time, First Alert Weather app, because it is a First Alert Weather Day tonight happening overnight, starting around midnight. But again, make sure you're tuning in Studio 10 coming up at 3 o'clock, followed by First at 4 and our 90 minutes of news. I'm being waved out by my boss, so I'm going to head out now. But have a great Tuesday, everyone.